Kerbal Space Program. Zombies in Space! Episode 8, Distracted Piloting, Part 2. So in continuing with my phone conversation as I'm playing, I am going to start returning. I can hardly talk now. Start returning this craft and our little Kerbal, our zombie Kerbal, back to the home planet to tell them that he hasn't really detected any food, but he didn't actually land, so it might still be out there. But as our mission plan had changed along the way, and I was thinking about trying to do a flyby of Minimus and Moon, I decided, well, let's see if I can plot a trajectory that will do a flyby of Moon, and I can keep up with that idea that I can fly by both. So this is what I'm trying to do. And we have an encounter. So I'm going to aim for that. The good news is I still have a lot of fuel, which is allowing me to make all these changes to the mission plan. But yeah, it's not great. It would have been better if I'd just stuck with it the first time around. And there's an encounter. And so trying for science again. I don't know. Keep trying for science wherever I go, even though a lot of it I've already got, it seems. And I had messed up the encounter, so trying to fix it again. Seemed to be a lot of this going on. Anyway, at least this time it's kind of a small adjustment. Just have to hope I don't miss the window to actually fire the thrusters and actually make the encounter. The seconds tick away. This is one of the least exciting parts of Kerbal Space Program. Waiting to reach an encounter. Waiting. There's a lot of waiting going on. Kind of like trying to catch a bus or something. You spend a lot of time waiting. So I accelerate things again, and it would have been smart if I'd used the alarm clock since I've got it. Oh well, we're still a long way away. Oh, but I have set up a pretend encounter. And you watch Moon and Minimus, or Moon and Minimus, Moon and Kerbin spinning around. But I've set up a pretend encounter to let me know when I'm getting close. And I crank out the time warp, because that's always a good idea when you're getting close. Oh boy. And look, oh, we're plus 4 hours and 16 minutes. Yeah, we blew right by that encounter again. Don't talk on the phone and play at the same time. It's a bad idea. Anyway, so at this point I decided, you know what, instead of trying to set up another encounter with Moon, I'm just sending this guy home, because I've had enough of that. I've had enough of that. So I try and get an encounter that'll put him inside the atmosphere to slow him down. And actually, it's not going to take a whole lot of energy to get there. Well, that's inside, but not very far. He would come home eventually, as long as the moon didn't fling him back out into space. Okay. So now we've got a plan. As long as I don't blow by this one, it should work, whether I'm on the phone or not. Yeah, that was not good. Go, Kerbal, go. So as I'm sure you've noticed in this series, a lot of times my missions don't quite go according to plan. That is, if I even start them with a direct plan, a lot of times it's just kind of like, oh, let's get it into orbit and then figure out what we might be able to do with it. But the main plan being get science. As long as I get science, I'm happy. But once they start making you pay for the parts, I think I'm going to have to be a little more conservative with my rocket building and a little bit more directed as to what I'm going to do with them. But until then, I'll make bizarre rocket concepts and push the limits and try to earn a whole bunch of science and trying to probably cause trouble for myself along the way. And we're burning the engines. Burning, burning, burning. Keep those engines burning. Oh, that was about right. Get rid of the maneuver node. Oh, I think we've gone too far. Nothing's showing up on the other side. That's usually not a good indication. So I guess I'm going to have to burn things the other direction now. And there we go. Raising it up, raising it up. Because that would have guaranteed that we'd come back, but have absolutely no control over where. Okay. Let's go. There's Kerbin. Accelerate time. That's the Kerbal special theory of relativity. The bigger your rocket, the slower time passes. I haven't really encountered that in this series, but that tends to be the case. The bigger your rocket, the slower time passes. It's very strange, but you can really notice it when you build a really big rocket. And since we're going to be traveling through the atmosphere, I decided that I would retract the solar panels. And since I'm always trying to get science, even if I can't, I try to get some science, and I can't. Fun stuff. Okay, so we're under 200,000, under 100. Oh, we are into the atmosphere. The upper parts, anyway. Well, maybe not the atmosphere, but certainly within the influence of Kerbin's gravity right at the moment. And we're approaching the upper atmosphere. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I guess I could check at what point the atmosphere really does begin, but certainly until you're at about 70,000 meters. Oh, hey, I can get some science. Yeah, I was saving that for when we did the flyby of the moon. Write that down. No? Maybe not. Save it for the landing, I guess. Yeah, I was going to use that when flew by the moon, or by moon, but again, we blew by there so fast that I didn't get a chance. Well, I guess technically the Kerbal didn't go by too fast, but we did. Oh, Edford. Yeah, we keep letting Edford down in this episode. And he can see home. It's right there. It's right there. And yet it's going to fling him out way far past the orbit of Moon again. But at least Moon's not going to be there when he gets there. Otherwise that could be a problem. And that's coming in. And that's coming in. And slowly that's going down as well. Oh, it stopped. Well, that's about it. Oh, I guess it's still going. Still within the loose clutches of Kerbin. And now he's not. So we'll zip around again. Yeah. It's definitely not the fastest way of getting back to the planet. But it works. It's the sun. There's Kerbin and Moon again. Oh, and I think you can see Minimus flickering in between them. That's kind of a cool shot. Although if it was a still shot, I don't think you'd even realize that Minimus was there. I definitely didn't notice that when I was playing the game. And he's coming back in. And here he goes. And so I go and do this thing. I don't necessarily know why, but I keep looking to see what's happening to the orbit whenever I do this whole aero braking maneuver. One thing I'm really checking for is to make sure that it all gets pulled in lower than Moon's orbit, or, well, in the case of aero braking in other places, lower than the orbit of any of the moons, or at least on a trajectory that won't take it to any of the moons when I don't want it to happen, because that could send the craft in places I don't want it to go, and that would not be fun. Oh well. And we're about to be flying over the spaceport, and I decide, you know what, let's just fire the engines and bring this thing down. I'm tired of going around and around and around. And that's what I did. So there's plenty of fuel, and I don't even know why I'm doing the fuel transfer. Like I said before, it's not like I could even get rid of those things. So why does it matter where the fuel is? In fact, in a lot of ways it would be better to have it in the lower tanks. Oh, that's why. I didn't put fuel lines to connect them. So if I don't transfer the fuel, oh nice, re-entry effects. It's burning up out there. But if I didn't transfer the fuel, the engine wouldn't use it. I forgot that's how that Oh, nice. Very nice. Re-entry effects there. Oh, and you can see the mountains off in the distance. And the space program would be off to the right there, the lower right corner. Or the space center, I should say. Oh, yeah. That's pretty impressive. At least I don't have deadly re-entry, because I'm sure things would be blowing up, but it would make things exciting. Yeah. It would make things exciting. And I would end up having a lot less science, but we've seen that happen before too. Well, at least I've got a few parachutes on this thing. So he's coming in. I was trying to get it kind of close to the Space Center, and I was trying to get it to go on land or near land, but looks like we might overshoot. So fire up the engines, try and get something good to happen. I think now I've got all the fuel put into that tank, so that's good. But it's best not to use it all, because I just might need to use some to slow me down. As in, what was it, episode 2, episode 3, when I hit the water and things didn't go so well? I had fuel in the tanks. I could have just fired the engines to slow me down. Oh, the science I lost that day. So I was trying to head for the beach and just said, you know what, I'm getting low. Pull the chutes, cut the engines. And we're going slow enough, we should be okay, which is what I said that time too. Yeah. Anyway, try and do some science, because I always try to do more science. Always more science. Oh no, transmit. Well, that's a good idea too. And then do more science, which isn't really worth anything. And, oh, splashdown. He has made it. The flyby of Minimus and Moon, although he didn't get any science from the flying by Moon. So we'll use up all the science equipment that we can right here. Gain some more science. Oh, exposed material samples the environment. Take notes on how it behaves. Kerbin's Shores. Apparently this is Kerbin's Shores. So we're pretty close to the shore. Alright, Edford, jump out and do some sciencey stuff. Oh, crew report from Kerbin's Shores. Crew's assessment. Record. Write it down. Write it down. It's worth points. EVA. Most precarious situation. Apparently. Didn't need that. Okay, jump. Jump, Edford, jump. Someday we'll invent ladders. Someday we'll invent wheels. It's amazing some of the things that they haven't invented yet. I don't know if they've invented forks and... oh, that doesn't look very comfortable. But while you're laying there, you might as well get some water. Taking a sample of the water here, there's bits of vegetation in it suggesting a strong likelihood that there is land nearby. Write it down. Write it down. And write a report. I don't think a spacesuit was entirely necessary. Well, considering you're underwater, you probably want something like that. Although, being a zombie, I guess it wasn't entirely necessary. You could survive down there anyway. Good point, Edford. Good point. And on that note, see you next time.